Outskirts of Sunnydale, 12:30 a.m. Inside the bus, Sarah gazed out the window at the stars scattered across the night sky. Beside her, Tara slept with her head resting on her mother's shoulder. Sarah glanced down at the top of her daughter's head and smiled. Then she pressed a gentle kiss there before leaning back against the seat. Nearly 20 minutes later, the driver announced they would soon reach Sunnydale. Sunnydale. Sarah repeated the name silently to herself while looking out the window once more. She hoped Teddy would not find them here. He would likely lack the patience or the inclination to involve the police given their dislike for him. She closed her eyes and took a steadying breath. With luck, his anger would keep him from pursuing them in any focused way. Still, she wondered briefly if they should push even further, maybe all the way north into Canada. As the bus passed the spotlighted sign that read, "Welcome to Sunnydale," Sarah tensed. She scanned the other 40 passengers before turning her gaze back toward the scenery rushing past. The lights of the small city glowed brighter in the distance. Yet, the closer they drew, the deeper a sense of dread settled into her. Powerful mystical force seemed to emanate from the city itself. Sarah stared out the window and wondered what she had brought herself and Tara into. As the bus continued forward, she sensed dark magic threading through the air around them. Tara began to stir. "Mama?" Tara opened her eyes, sat up straight, and stretched her arms overhead with a yawn. "Are we there yet?" "Yes, honey," Sarah replied, offering her daughter a smile before looking out the window again. "I feel something weird," Tara said. She leaned closer and rested her head on Sarah's shoulder once more. "I feel mystical forces and—" "So do I," Sarah confirmed with a nod. "I am beginning to wonder if coming here was a good idea. Maybe we should catch another bus and head up to Canada. But either way, we'll be away from Daddy and the others," Tara finished. She wrapped her arm around Sarah's. "Maybe we should stay. There's only so far we can run. And if we change our names, how easy would it be for Daddy, Donnie, and Beth to find us?" "Nearly impossible," Sarah answered. She smiled and nodded at her daughter. "Can I keep my first name?" Tara asked as the bus turned into the city proper. "I mean, can't we just change our last names? Everything else will change anyway, so—" "I already changed your name on the school records to Natalie Williams," Sarah told her. "By now, your old school will have forgotten you, including what you look like. Once we settle into a room at a motel, I'll cast the spell and temporarily change our names to something completely different. A safeguard to protect us. Then we will wait a few months before shifting them again to Sarah and Tara Collins." "Your maiden name," Tara said with a smile. "Exactly," Sarah replied, grinning at her. "I'm hoping it will take Teddy that long to realize he cannot find us. If he tries to give pictures to the police, I've made certain no one will recognize our faces. They will throw the pictures away and shred them. After I change our identities the second time, I'm giving up magic." "Mama?" Tara sounded genuinely surprised. "I'm committing a taboo, Tara," Sarah explained gently. "I'm changing people's minds on a global scale, and that is something that should never be done. I tell myself it's only to protect us, and that's true, but I still did it. I want to redeem myself by training you." "Yay!" Tara said, grinning. "Tara, you can shine brighter than any star. Just don't repeat the same mistakes I am about to make. First, be careful with your magic. Second, make sure the person you fall in love with loves you back. He or she should never be cruel to you or to your friends and family." "And if it's a she?" Tara asked. She looked down at the floor of the bus, blushing before meeting her mother's surprised gaze. I mean, it could be a she," Sarah assured her. She slipped an arm around the young woman's shoulders. "Either way, you should warn him or her that it is never wise to anger your mother." Mama, Tara protested in mock horror. I will have you know, Sarah added thoughtfully, before I met your father, when I was a freshman, I did experiment with. Mama, I do not want to know. Tara covered her ears and closed her eyes, while Sarah chuckled softly. Whether it is a boy or a girl, Sarah continued once Tara lowered her hands, they'll be lucky to have you. I wonder what the teachers here are like, Tara said, eager to change the subject. You'll make friends too, you know, Sarah replied. Tara blushed again. You will, you'll see. For the first 2 months, we'll lay low. Then I'll enroll you in school. In the meantime, I'll look for work at the hospital. By the time we settle into our final identities, we'll each have something to look forward to. Tara nodded as the bus pulled into the station and let its passengers disembark. While others greeted waiting friends and families, Tara and Sarah approached the counter carrying only the older woman's handbag and the girl's backpack. They asked the attendant for directions to the nearest motel. After he provided a brochure about the city and pointed them toward the taxi stand, they stepped out into the night. Once inside the taxi, she glanced through the brochure. She tapped her finger on the name of a motel, the first one her eyes caught. Sarah asked the driver to take them to the Sunnydale 21 Motel near Main Street. As the vehicle moved through the streets, she reassured Tara that everything will be all right. Tara nodded and smiled, then wrapped her arms around her mother and held on tight. They traveled in comfortable silence for about 20 minutes, until the taxi reached the 3-story hotel, the only one in town with a 24-hour diner attached. Sarah paid the driver and then entered the office with Tara. After silently casting a spell to ensure the manager would accept whatever she wrote, Sarah requested a room for two. While she filled in the false information, Tara stood by the glass walls and narrowed her eyes slightly. Mystical energy, both stable and unstable, pulsed through everything around her. She glanced at Sarah, who met her gaze, silently confirming the same sensation. Mama still feels it too, Tara thought. She looked out at the brightly lit diner sign and the hotel beside it. Yet, she also caught swift shadows darting from place to place. Deciding it was only exhaustion, she shook her head and pushed the thought aside. Once Sarah had collected the room keys, they crossed to the opposite building, climbed the stairs, and stopped at room 213. Sarah opened the door, they stepped inside. She closed it behind them with a sigh. Tara sat on one of the two beds while Sarah switched on the air conditioning unit to cool the warm room. She set her purse down on a table and noticed Tara lying back with her hands behind her head. Only then did Sarah fully realize they possessed nothing beyond the clothes on their backs. Aside from the cash she carried, the ATM card, their original identification, and Tara's book bag, they had brought nothing else. Sarah sat on her own bed and sighed. She would need to withdraw more money to cover the 2 month stay at the motel and buy them both new clothes. She looked over at Tara, who gazed back at her with that beloved smile, the one Sarah always cherished after a day at school. Still, something weighed on her, and she knew they needed to talk. I'm sorry, Tara, she began. Tara sat up immediately, concern clear on her face. She moved to Sarah's bed and settled beside her. Mama, what's wrong? I know I brought you out here at the last minute, Sarah said, staring down at the floor. I didn't even pack any clothes or... Tara leaned her head on her mother's shoulder. And I have an account your grandmother set up for me under my maiden name. Daddy doesn't know? Tara asked softly. Sarah shook her head. It's got quite a lot of funds and I didn't want Teddy near it. She rested her head against Tara's as they both gazed at the cream-colored wall ahead. But I wanted to give it to you. And now it feels as if I haven't... Mama, Tara said, slipping an arm around her shoulders. We'll be alright. That money belongs to you. And I know everything will turn out fine. I'm still sorry, honey, Sarah whispered. She wiped her eyes and looked at her daughter. The reality settled over her. They were alone now, strangers in a strange city that hummed with mystical energy. Tara held her for several minutes, then they went downstairs to the diner for a quick meal. Afterward, they returned to the room. Sarah and Tara placed their few belongings on the bed. Sarah explained that the coming global spell would alter every document bearing their names. She would also ensure that any copies held by Teddy or Donnie would burn to ashes. Tara nodded when Sarah added that she would remove memories of them from everyone else, except Teddy, Beth, and Donnie. But why? Tara asked. They'll keep insisting we exist even when every shred of evidence shows otherwise. Sarah replied, at least not under our old names. Can you say they'll look insane? I like it, Tara answered. She imagined the three of them shouting in an asylum that Sarah and Tara were real, that they were demons sent to destroy the world. Yeah, I can picture what they will say. All our identification will change, Sarah continued as she sat on the bed. We'll receive new documents that reflect our new lives. Then, after 2 months, I'll cast another similar global spell to give us our final identities. I love you, Mom, Tara said. Sarah offered her a wide smile. And I promise I will never do anything like this. Sarah kissed her daughter's cheek again. They sat side by side while the older woman chanted a spell in Latin. A spell that would begin their new life in Sunnydale. To be continued.